welcome back to Rocket Gyan. So after so many much time later we have come, and I know we have missed some launches, but yeah, congratulations guys, the strike is over now. They have retracted the strike, and they're so kind enough that yeah, so shout out to Lab Padre for retracting the strike. And here we are again, back to the business. So guys, today we will be having a Starlink launch. As we all know, we are waiting for this for to happen for so much long, and now finally it is happening. So guys, as you can see, the SpaceX will be conducting this Starlink launch, and this SpaceX basically is the company headed by Elon Musk, who is trying to revolutionize the space industry, and it is doing appropriate measures to do so, and we have seen that in past. So let's just talk. Uh, let's just jump directly to the rocket configuration we will be using for today. So we will be using a Falcon 9 rocket booster, and basically Falcon 9 rocket, which has a total 91 flights, 52 landings, and 37 reflown rocket. And it is a reusable two-stage rocket, and it is the right now the world's only reusable orbital class rocket. It has a payload capacity of 222.8 tons, and the height of this is around 15 to 17 story building, if I'm not wrong. And the payload to geotransfer is 8.3, and payload to Mars is 4 tons. So it is a very capable rocket. As you can see, the first stage consists of interstage, grid fins, the first stage itself, landing legs, and engines. So let's just have a look at engine itself. It has 9 Merlin engines connected in octaweb configuration. It produces around 7.607 kilonewtons of thrust, and it is the main, you can say, thrust powerhouse for, of course this is the thrust powerhouse to take the second stage and the payload all the way up to the space. So yeah, so next thing is about, okay, landing legs. So landing legs is used when the first stage returns back to earth. Hi Canal do Grillo Vivaldini. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly or not, but hi everyone, welcome to the stream. So yeah, this is the thing, and they are using landing legs obviously for landing. So let's have a look at the second stage. This is the second stage. Guys, it has produces a 981 kilonewton of thrust, not the most powerful one, but yeah, not the most weaker one also. It is a capable rocket, and it has a burn time of 397 seconds. Basically it's the ISP, means for around 397 seconds it can burn the fuel this much. And it is also a Merlin engine, but it is a vacuum optimized Merlin engine. Now the interstage consists of these 4 grid fins and the interstage. Interstage basically has all houses the second stage engine bell and engine, and that's why we have those empty space. So this is that, and it has 4 grid fins, which is used for aerodynamic guidance during re-entry. And then finally the payload we will be having 60 Starlink satellites to orbit today, and we will be able to see that for the Starlink constellation of Elon Musk, SpaceX. So here we have the Merlin engine, guys. It runs on LOX and RP1. LOX is liquid oxygen, and RP1 is rocket graded kerosene, and it produces around 845 kilonewton of thrust at sea level. And as you can see, this is the pre-burner, and these are all those pipelines and all. And then this is a vacuum engine, which is a very large engine. Basically engine is this much only. This is the bell, which is very large. If you just see that this second stage bell takes the size of 9 Merlin engine, which is situated at the bottom, so you can imagine the size of it. And it also runs on LOX and RP1. And yeah, that's what we have about the rocket. So let's have a look at the payload and the mission profile itself. Hi Luis Carter, great to see you back. So yeah, Luis Carter, I am back with all those things, and hopefully will be there till everything. Yeah, will be there now. No, I'm not going anywhere now. Okay, so uh, yeah. And here we have the Starlink mission, guys. So Starlink mission, in this we will be having the general trajectory, not as the one which we saw in Falcon 1B mission, where in there, but that was a polar launch. So it was there we had a boost back burn, and the Falcon 9 landed back to the launch site itself. So here we won't be having that. The launch will be having, ascent will be there, and there here we will be having a Miko space separation, and the second stage start. And the second stage will continue its journey, and the first stage will perform a flip maneuver, and it will then perform face a retrograde and perform entry burn, which will help to reduce the uh, um, re-entry effects for the aerodynamic, you can say, yeah, obviously. And then the finally aerodynamic guidance will be there to land it autonomously on the drone ship, which is situated in the ocean. And then for the second stage, we will be having a fairing separation and then the payload separation. So that's what we will be having today. And we won't be having any I think so. We won't be having any rideshare in this thing. We only be having the Starlink mission itself. So yeah, that's what we have for that. Now we are just waiting for the stream to get started, and once it is started, when then we can get back to that. So guys, just tell me, how are you, what are you up to? As in, we missed so many launches, right? We missed the Falcon 1B mission, which was a iconical one, as we had the feed from the SpaceX itself, from the launch to landing. We didn't see that a loss in communication, so we were able to see the aerodynamic effects, and it was so cool. I saw that. And another thing is, we also missed Vega launch, right? Vega launch, which happened today only. We I was streaming this Vega launch in the August, early August, or I think so. And we didn't have that launch. It was like due to weather and all, it was being postponed and postponed. Finally, we saw that launch too, and it was also very successful. So yeah, that's what we had for today, and we are just waiting for this mission to begin. So guys, how are you all doing? I know for me it was sleepless nights, I can say you that, because I know how much struggle and hard work goes into this, and when these kind of situation happens. But yeah, because of your support and all, I was able to get out of it. And obviously, a shout out to Lab Padre for being so kind to take back the strike. So although I learned so much more about the strikes and laws, and hopefully I won't be repeating all that again. So thank you to you also, guys, for supporting me in this. Now we are just waiting for things to happen. Just wait a sec. I should be doing this. It would be great. Hmm. Okay, but just a sec. I have said that. Oh yeah, obviously. I was I was like, how much this much time can be left? The clock was displaying wrong time. Sorry for that, guys. Corrected that right now. And yeah, here we go. So we are only 13 minutes, 31 minutes left for the stream to begin, launch to happen, and we can now just discuss about everything which we missed and all. So let me just recall what were launches. Oh yeah, obviously the return to flight launch of Rocket Lab. We missed that. We missed Vega 1. We missed this one also, Falcon 1B mission. Any other we missed? I don't remember, but yeah, so these were the things we missed. But the most important and the most interesting of all was the Falcon 1B mission, because that was like very interesting. If I can pull up the stream for you guys to see as in what happened, that let me just do that only. We can have a look for the landing part only for that mission. It would be great. Yeah, here we go. That was so cool, I can tell you. Here we go. So it was this landing part was there in the Sarcom 1B mission. Actually the boost back and all has been done, and
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
yeah, this was the entry burn.
Merlin engines have relit and are currently slowing the first stage down before it hits those dense parts of the atmosphere.
So entry burn and boost back burn.
The screen is continuing to perform as expected.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And that is our second burn completed. And as we mentioned earlier, we are going to be attempting to recover this booster back at land on landing zone 1. The first stage has one more burn left. That is the landing burn.
See, now just see the effects, guys. Re-entry effects.
A soft descent before we land.
Just see the re-entry effects now.
During this period, the landing legs will also be deploying. You might be able to catch it right before we touch down. They're stowed at the base of the vehicle and made up of state-of-the-art carbon fiber and aluminum honeycomb.
You can see those effects come to life, and we are having the stream also.
What a cool view.
This is so cool. This was so cool.
First stage is passing through the cloud layers right now.
And now the burn was started, and we were able to see that
Here
properly.
Comes Falcon 9 attempting its fourth landing.
See how cool that was, guys. See how cool that was, right?
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And you could not ask for a better landing than that. Falcon 9 has landed once again. That is number 4 for this first stage booster.
So let's just have
58th overall.
There we go. So guys, this was the landing, and I was so amazed and so like, wow, I didn't see those effects in a very long time for a rocket, and it was so cool to see for my favorite rocket, Falcon 9. Let me just see what is happening with this. Oops, no worries, I'll correct it. Just give me a sec. Here we go. The Atlas, oh, Delta 4 Heavy, Aman, okay. So yeah, so Delta 4 Heavy, guys, it is right now we didn't have actually the date for it, as in, so sorry, as in when it will be launched, but we do have something like as in what happened during the about time. We have some details, just minute details. I am also researching on that, and that's why I am making a video on that only. So it will be out in a day or two, and then you will be able to see as in what happened to that. I am so happy we are back in the business and we are go for launch also. I think the weather conditions are good for this launch today. Here we go.
Good morning. It's Thursday, September 3rd, and you're looking at a live view of Falcon 9 as it awaits its 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time launch from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center. Hello from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. My name is Kate Tice, Senior Certification Engineer here at SpaceX. You're watching a live webcast for our 12th Starlink mission and our 16th mission of 2020. To date, we've launched roughly 650 Starlink satellites to orbit. As a reminder, Starlink is a constellation of satellites that can provide high-speed, low-latency internet all over the globe, particularly in remote or rural areas where connectivity is limited or completely unavailable. We're currently just under T-minus 10 minutes, and all systems are currently go for an on-time liftoff this morning. If for any reason there is a hold on the countdown today, we do have a backup launch opportunity tomorrow at 8:24 a.m. Eastern. So there we can see a live view of Falcon 9, which is our two-stage liquid-fueled launch vehicle. Stands 229 feet tall, which is slightly taller than a 21-story building. The booster that we see there, today will be its second flight. It made its first flight back in June of this year on the GPS-3 mission for the U.S. Air Force. The bottom two-thirds of the vehicle is the first stage. You can see the soot markings left over from that flight earlier this year. The first stage accelerates the vehicle through the Earth's atmosphere into space with the help of 9 Merlin engines located at the base of the rocket. Today, we will be attempting to recover this first stage for the second time, and today we will be attempting to do that on our drone ship, which you see there. Of course, I Still Love You. It's currently stationed 350 nautical miles northeast of the Cape and about 200 nautical miles east of Charleston. Above the first stage is the second stage, which has a single engine called the Merlin vacuum engine, or MVAC, and that ignites after the first stage separates. The second stage is what will carry the Starlink satellites into an elliptical orbit above Earth's surface. After deployment, the Starlink satellites will use their onboard propulsion system to move up to their operational altitude of 550 kilometers.
Okay.
Falcon 9 has been loading propellant since T-minus 35 minutes.
Yes.
As a reminder, we use a rocket-grade kerosene, or RP1, as our fuel, and super chilled liquid oxygen, or LOX, as our oxidizer to power Falcon 9. Currently, RP1 and LOX loading are nearly complete on first and second stages. LOX will continue to be topped off right until the last minutes of the countdown. The stack of 60 Starlink satellites is safely enclosed inside the 17-foot diameter payload fairing, which you see
wow,
there.
What a cloud.
The pointed cone at the very top of the rocket.
This is so cool.
This structure is what protects the satellites from aerothermal heating, aerodynamic loads, and contamination during ascent. Once we reach the vacuum of space, we will jettison those fairings, and the second stage will continue on its journey to orbit. We will be attempting to recover the fairing halves today using our recovery ships Ms. Tree and Ms. Chief. You can see live shots from there on your screen now. At approximately T plus 40 minutes, the team will perform a poll to confirm if we're all good to make a catch attempt today. Of course, weather plays a big factor in that, as well as telemetry from the fairings, such as altitude, position, and speed. We will be ending our webcast following the deployment of our Starlink satellites at about T plus 15 minutes, so we won't be able to bring you live coverage of the recovery attempt, so be sure to check our social accounts for updates on that. Looks like a pretty clear day there out at Cape Canaveral. With that, the vehicle, the satellites, the range all continue to look good for an on-time liftoff just a few minutes from now. So we're currently approaching the T minus 6 minute mark. A little update here about our beta testing and speed testing. The Starlink team is still in the beginning stages of our global space-based internet constellation, but we are well into our first phase of testing with our private beta program, with plans to roll out a public beta later this year. For those who have shown interest in participating in our public beta by signing up at starlink.com, be sure to stay tuned for details on that. As employees have been using Starlink, the Starlink team has been collecting latency statistics and performing standard speed tests of the system. This means that we're checking how fast data travels from the satellites to our customers and then back to the rest of the internet. Initial results have been good. They show super low latency and download speeds greater than 100 megabytes per second. That means our latency is low enough to play the fastest online video games. And our download speeds are fast enough to stream multiple HD movies at once and still have bandwidth to spare. But our network, of course, is very much a work in progress. And over time, we will continue to add features to unlock the full capability of that network. We also have a bit of exciting news. Recently, as the Starlink team completed a test of 2 satellites in orbit that are equipped with our inter-satellite links, which we call space lasers. With these space lasers, the Starlink satellites were able to transfer hundreds of gigabytes of data. Once these space lasers are fully deployed, Starlink will be one of the fastest options available to transfer data around the world. If you would like to receive updates on Starlink news and service availability in your area, be sure to visit starlink.com.
Guys, this is the power of
4 minutes
Elon
and
Musk,
15 seconds
right?
until liftoff, and Falcon 9 is moving into the final stages of the countdown.
So guys,
the first
we
and second
are
stages are nearly fully loaded with 1 million pounds of kerosene of fuel and liquid oxygen. The first and second stage fuel loading is complete, and liquid oxygen loading is still in progress.
and we are almost
which, like I mentioned earlier,
3
is our
minutes
propellant
from the launch.
oxidizer, is what's creating those white clouds that you see right there.
Venting.
That occurs when that super chilled LOX is exposed to warmer ambient air, so completely normal. First stage should be finishing up prop loading at T minus 3 minutes, and the second stage around T minus 2 minutes. At T minus 60 seconds, Falcon 9 will move into startup. This means that the rocket's autonomous internal flight computers have taken over the launch countdown. The Starlink payload continues to be healthy. The F-19 continues to track no issues on the rocket. Weather is looking good, and the range is green for launch.
And we are ready for launch, guys. Today we will be seeing this launch, and right now everything is nominal, and we just heard about those beautiful sentences by the host about the Starlink program and how is it progressing. The speed is tremendous, but what she claimed was 100 megabytes per second. I think she meant to say 100 megabits per second, because 100 megabytes means
continues to get topped off.
800 megabits per second. I don't know. I don't think so. It is what she might want to say, because in the testing also, in the pictures released in the public, we were able to say it was around 60 to 150 megabits per second.
On-time liftoff this
so
morning.
yeah. So now the liquid oxygen loading is almost completed, and that's why once we will be those clouds are now slowly disappearing. And obviously engine chill has been done, and strong back retract has been done.
Stage 2, LOX load, close out.
LOX is loaded in stage 2, and now engine chill. What does engine chill mean, guys? Engine chill is nothing but just
LOX loading on second stage is now complete.
Super chill oxygen is
Falcon
flown
9
through
is
the
now
engines
fully loaded with
so as to prepare
1
it for
million
the
pounds
launch.
of liquid kerosene and super chilled liquid oxygen.
And we are so ready for
Ground, yes,
this
close out discerning.
launch to happen. Now this is the venting of the pipes, guys. The oxygen, which is liquid oxygen, which is there on the pipes, this is released into the air. That's why some big clouds we see during this time, and we hear some noise. Now the vehicle should be in startup in just 2 seconds.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Startup means the internal computers have taken over.
Falcon 9 is in startup. The flight computers have taken over the launch sequence. First and second stages are now beginning to pressurize for launch.
LD is go for launch.
Launch director
Stage
has
2,
given
present for flight.
permission to launch. Now we are only 30 seconds from the launch, guys.
30 seconds.
I'm so excited for this now.
T-minus 30
We are
seconds,
ready for
all
it.
systems are go for launch.
And
Let's listen in to the final countdown and watch as
20,
Falcon 9
19,
takes our Starlink
80,
satellites
pressing for flight.
to orbit.
17,
T-minus
16,
15 seconds.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9,
10,
8,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
and
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
and
liftoff.
liftoff of the Falcon 9 vehicle, the low Earth orbit carrying Starlink satellites.
Switching downrange.
Vehicle is now pitching. Pitching means performing a
L1D
pitch
performance
maneuver.
is nominal.
Basically tilting sideways now to reach the orbit, and everything is looking good. The speed is increasing, the altitude is increasing, and we can see those close shots from the rocket. Now we can also see the roll of the rocket, which happens during the ascent, but engine roll cancels it, and we are good for
Successful
that.
liftoff for Falcon 9 from pad
Power
39A
and telemetry nominal.
at
And
Kennedy
the
Space Center.
telemetry is
And we
nominal.
just heard that power and telemetry is nominal.
This is so cool.
Moments ago, we began to throttle the
And
9 Merlin engines that you
Up one.
see. They're propelling the first stage through the atmosphere. We began to throttle them down in preparation for max Q, also known as the
Max Q.
All right, there we heard the
maximum
call out.
aerodynamic
The
pressure.
vehicle just went through the moment in which it experiences the greatest aerodynamic
And this is
pressure.
nothing. This is the contrails, which is
In
perfectly
about a
normal.
minute, we're going to have 3 events happening
Right now, the
back to
smoke
back.
which you are seeing.
First will be main engine cutoff for MECO, where all 9 M1D engines will shut down and slow the vehicle in preparation for event number 2, stage separation.
The weather is so
As the
clear
name
that
indicates,
we are
this is
able
where
to
the
see
first
everything.
and second stages will
MVAC engine
separate.
chill has begun.
There we heard the call for MVAC engine chill, indicating that the second stage is preparing for that stage sep and ignition of MVAC. After stage separation, stage 1 will start to make its way back to Earth for its landing on our drone ship, and stage 2 will continue its journey along with the third event, SCS-1 or second engine start 1, where MVAC will ignite and begin to propel the second stage along with the Starlink satellites to orbit.
And now, guys, MECO is coming closer, wherein the
Expecting MECO in about 10 seconds.
yes, wherein the main engine will be having a cutoff, and we will be having the stage separation. So MECO anytime now. MECO.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage separation is confirmed, guys, as we can see, and the second stage has
All right, on your
begun
screen there, we have visual
burning.
confirmation of
Yes.
those three
Started.
events. MVAC is now ignited and beginning to develop that warm orange glow.
Now the first
next
stage
event
will
we have coming
perform
up
the
is
flip
fairing
maneuver.
deployment.
And yeah, the fairing deployment is coming in close. In just a few seconds, we will be see
Fairing separation confirmed.
that. And here we go, the visual
There on
confirmation
your
of
screen, we
the
now see those 60 Starlink satellites.
fairing deployment.
Those fairings will make their way back to Earth as well. Like I mentioned before, we won't be able to bring live coverage of the recovery attempt for those fairings, as they'll be happening after we close our webcast. So be sure to check in on our social media accounts for updates on that.
And the second stage is looking
telemetry
good.
looks good.
Okay,
Everything's nominal
thank
there.
you.
Now, as it heads towards its targeted drop-off orbit, first stage there on the left-hand side of your screen will execute 2 burns in order to make its way back to Earth.
Wow. This is what we call a rocket and the views from the Earth, right? The Earth is looking so beautiful today from the first stage, right? This view from the first stage is looking so cool, and the
There on
second
left-hand
stage
side
is
of your
looking
screen,
good.
We see the first stage continuing to coast. After stage separation, after main engine cutoff and stage separation,
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
it actually continues on an upward trajectory.
And that is necessary, guys. Right
Its
now,
maximum height gets about 132 kilometers.
okay.
And right about now, it should have reached its apogee and now beginning to make its descent.
So what is happening
Coasting
here,
using
guys?
its grid fins. And
Both vehicles are following nominal
Now it is
trajectories.
okay.
good call
Now
out
it is
there,
falling
indicating nominal
down.
trajectory. Everything's looking good for both the first and second stages.
Like we throw a stone, right? When we throw a stone, then
Like I
also it
mentioned
goes
before,
up, right? We
First
don't
stage will be performing 2 burns. The first being the entry
provide
burn,
the energy. That's what is
where
happening
3
here.
of the M1D engines will reignite. This helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. About 2 minutes later, the second stage will happen. Excuse me, the second burn will happen, and that is the landing burn. And this is where a single engine will reignite and bring the
Yes,
vehicle
Steve.
speed down rapidly as it prepares to land on our drone ship.
And now
Today's landing attempt will be with the drone ship Of Course I Still Love You, which is currently located 350 nautical miles northeast of the Cape.
Now the entry burn should start anytime, not anytime. This still
The 60
seconds
Starlink
are
satellites
left.
that we have on board today will be joining our constellation of nearly 700 already on orbit. Again, these satellites are designed to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to us Earthlings. This is especially useful in places where good internet is hard to access or impossible. So not only rural areas, but thinking about airplanes and ships will also be able to
Stage 1
receive
FTS.
Entry burn is now
high-speed, reliable internet.
starting. Yeah.
Stage 1, entry burn startup.
Entry burn
So there
has
we have visual
started.
confirmation that the first of 2 burns, the entry burn, has
Three
begun.
three Merlin engines are
And this will last for about another 5
now
seconds.
throttling it back down. Means decreasing the speed, right? It is necessary so as to not.
Stage 1, entry burn shut down.
All
Let's
right,
just
shut
hope
down
that
of
we
those-
don't
again,
lose
that
the
was performed
signal.
with three
Please.
engines. Checking in on the second stage, everything continues to look nominal there.
Nah.
Trajectory is looking good.
And here we go. So this is bound to happen obviously when
Both vehicles
the
continue following nominal trajectories.
vehicle as we saw that in that also those re-entry effects are so cool to watch, right? Yeah, that's what happens here also. But the thing is this is bound to happen as those
next event
antennas
we-
don't get, so vehicle is
The next event
transonic.
we have coming up in about 30 seconds is the first stage landing
Stand
burn.
back, throttling down.
Yes,
There we
Steve,
heard
you
the
are
call
right.
out for
It is
MVAC
not no go
throttling
right
down
now.
in preparation for second engine cutoff, which will happen just before T plus 9 minutes.
Now landing burn will be starting in just
Terminal
a
guidance.
few seconds, guys, and the most awaited
Stage
moment
1,
is
landing burn startup.
about to come.
All right, we heard the call out that the landing burn for stage 1
Let's
has
switch over
begun.
to the drone ship camera,
This
please.
will last about 20 seconds.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 1, landing leg deploy.
Wow. Okay, so and here we go. Falcon 9
right,
has
visual
landed.
confirmation.
Stage 1,
There.
landing confirmed.
That this booster has landed for a second time. There we see a live shot
They
from our
have
drone
so
ship
much
in the
improved
Atlantic
their
Ocean. Of
technology. They
course, I still love you.
always hit the bull's
Hear
eye,
the
always and
clapping
always.
celebration of some of our first shift technicians here in the building.
Actually, this celebration is necessary
Second
also.
stage continues to look good.
Nominal orbital insertion.
And we have
there
a
we just heard the
nominal
call out for
orbital
good
insertion
orbit for
too.
second stage. So at this point, stage 2 is going to coast in this orbit for just a few minutes. During this time, it will start to spin along its central axis, giving the Starlink satellites the momentum that they need to deploy and space themselves out over time after deployment.
Expected loss of signal.
We're going to
K.
take a quick break here, and we'll be back at T plus 14 minutes and 15
Acquisition of
seconds.
signal.
Stick with us.
Newfoundland.
So right now, guys, we'll be able to enjoy some cool views from the Earth. And right now, the second stage is rotating around its central axis, and this is necessary, obviously, to separate those Starlink satellites, as all those Starlink satellites gain different velocity because of their different in heights. And yeah, this is what we call solution through engineering and not through money, right? This is what we call that. This is such a beautiful example of that. And yeah, it's the SpaceX Falcon 9 landing. We are like right now, for now, we just take that for granted, as in that will land, because it has done it so many times, and they have like every time they hit bullseye, and they have practiced and improved a lot and lot. And this capability is only and only there with the SpaceX rocket, and I'm so glad to hear that. Yes, Steve, it was very like very amazing to see those landing at when they landed for the first time, second time, as in people didn't expect also, as in something like this could happen, and everyone was like, why are they using the propulsion system to land? Why can't they just use the parachutes and land it on the splashdown, basically on the ocean? But for the Falcon 9 booster, which is around 10 to 15 story long, parachutes can't work. We don't have a big parachute for that. If we make also then also we won't be able to deploy it properly, because the weight of the parachute will eventually reduce the fuel in that. And also the Falcon 9 goes very you can say with very high speed on back to the earth, and at that time we can't even deploy the parachutes, because parachutes also need some safe altitude as well as safe speed to deploy, otherwise they will get torn apart or tear apart, whatever you say. And now we were just waiting for the deployment to happen at around 14 minutes, T plus 14 minutes, and everything will be good then. Well, but
Expected loss of signal Bermuda.
okay, so well, but I would say that whenever this thing becomes normal, like as they say, nominal, the Falcon 9 booster is landed and it is nominal, that is a good sign for SpaceX. That is not a bad sign. That's even a good sign, because now it has become normal that people can't care about it, don't care about it. That's an achievement for them, because otherwise it would be like they can't achieve that and everyone was like, let's just do it, and they are like right now also practicing the landing and all. But no, they have perfected the landing and they are hitting the bullseye every time. That's what. And right now we have lost the signal also, because of some that happened, the blackouts happens because we do change the ground stations. And now here we go, that's the sun behind and the earth below it. I mean, I would like to go into space one day for sure. And as you can see, the second stage is spinning right now. This will help the Starlink satellites to separate
Welcome
now.
back to our webcast for Starlink this morning. We had an on-time liftoff from Cape Canaveral and saw a successful landing by Stage 1 made on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, out in the Atlantic Ocean. Second stage has been coasting along now as we are awaiting the deployment of these 60 Starlink satellites that you see stacked up there on your screen. So that deployment will be coming up here in about 10 seconds.
Exactly. And deployment.
Starlink deploy confirmed.
See that thing go away and deployment. Oh wow, that was so cool.
There
Wow,
on your
wow.
screen, we see the Starlink satellites have deployed, and using the momentum that they got from the slight spin around about the
rates.
central axis.
That
What
was
a
so
beautiful
cool.
sight.
That thing just went away and
Shortly, these satellites
Wow.
will deploy their solar arrays, and over the next few days
As
and
you can
weeks,
already
will
see, they are
distance
separating.
themselves out from each other and use their onboard ion thrusters to make their way to operational orbit.
You can
And with
already
that,
see
we'll be bringing
them
our
separating.
webcast to a close. Thank you to the
Wow.
range and the FAA for supporting today's mission. If you're interested in getting future news about our Starlink service, head on over to starlink.com and sign up for updates. Follow our website and social media platforms for updates on our next missions and milestones. Until then, have a good one.
And guys, so this was, we had, wow, Starlink satellites are still in the view, right? And they're looking so phenomenal and so beautiful. So guys, this was what we had for today. I should say, for the very first time, the deployment was very beautiful rather than the launch. I like the deployment of the satellites the most about this mission. And so in conclusion, we had first of all, we discussed about the rocket, the company, and the Starlink satellites. And then guys, we discussed, we got the stream. We also discussed about how the Falcon when we mission, the landing was so perfect and so beautiful. We saw that also, and then finally we were able to get the stream. And in that stream,
Expected loss of signal Newfoundland and acquisition of signal Goonhilly.
and in that we were able to see everything going perfectly normal, and then finally the stream was up and we just saw the liftoff of the Falcon 9 vehicle. That was so good and so beautiful. and then finally Miko stage separation, the second stage, and all those things which happens every time, and obviously the bull's eye landing, and then finally a gorgeous and gracious deployment of the satellites. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I really appreciate your effort, and thank you everyone for just supporting me like always, and I'll be back with another launch and also the Delta 4 Heavy video in just few days, and so just wait for that. Until then, this is Priyanshu Roila. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.